All right, good morning, everyone. Just give me a second. I'm still getting everything set up, pulling up Trade-Avate and all that stuff. So, yeah. Should just be 1 second, and then it should be up and ready to go. And then I will put news in the Discord. And yeah, we're just going to keep showing up every single day. We're back again. We are back again. We're not going to stop. All right. Let me make sure I got my counts. And by the way, we're not missing anything. Price actions in pretty serious consolidation right now. So we probably won't get anything till at least market open. But we do have news at 10. So okay, I'll be trading 3 accounts, 13, 4, and 15. If I get a trade, that is. Yeah. Oh. I accidentally clicked on something and then it took me away. Dang it. I'll show my screen. Oh, I can't show my screen yet though. I have to type in the password. Oh, never mind. I guess it let me in. So, yeah, we should be good. Alright, back to the other screen. So, switching back. Let's talk about what we got going on. So, delete all that. Delete all that. We started to move lower since this move higher yesterday. Higher time frame is still bullish. So far we have SMT with this low. We also have bearish SMT with this high. Sorry guys, I am still a little tired, so looks like we got a nice change in state of delivery on the hourly. I do like that we've moved a little bit lower since yesterday. So we have a 1 hour gap. Let's see. We have a 15-minute for value gap. It's not quite in discount, but it's a 15-minute gap. So I'm going to mark this out. we also have this BPR underneath. Oh, you know what? Why? Dang, man. I hate that I'm this tired. Oh, I know what I can do. I'll be right back. So I'm probably just gonna be a little cautious today, because I am a little tired. So just keeping that in mind. Alright. Okay, still waking up here. So, actually, let's go on a little bit higher time frame. 4-hour gap did inverse, right? But it might not mean anything because we're so bullish. Honestly, I feel like we could get something good today. We just have to actually do our analysis properly. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. New day opening gap right there, dude. That's clean. That is clean. Cannot lie. Pushing up against this new day opening gap. I need to get out. I'm gonna get out Trade-Ovate on my other screen so I can use it to look at new day opening gaps and stuff. So we have this new day opening gap below this low. Now, just thinking out loud, I'm not saying anything. We have to do anything a certain way. Sorry guys. Yo, what up random guys? Sorry, I'm still kind of waking up, dude. 2 minutes till market open. But yeah, I'm still kind of just waking up, dude. Yeah, dude, I'm feeling like I'm feeling kind of tired right now. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. I'm a little stuck as well, but I'm not giving up. We do have SMT with that, right? And it's also a 1 hour gap. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's hard. And it's a lot of frustration. It really is, right? There's no way around it. Oh, market just opened. We still have SMT with this high. Wait, do we? Sorry, I'm kind of still. We have SMT with this high. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to focus right now. Sweep. Yeah, man. Look at how we reject this new day opening gap. Yeah, what I was going to say is you just got to keep showing up, bro. I mean, it sucks, but... Yeah, this new day opening gap just completely wrecking price right now. I wonder if there was SMT. No! No! Dang it, dude. I actually like this though because I want a move lower to get a long later. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty ideal for me. So this is actually kind of nice. So I think we're gonna draw down to this new day opening gap. So now we got a void here, right? This is like essentially like a void. So I'm watching that as a void. We have this 15-minute BPR overlapped with this new day opening gap. Yeah, man, I'm still just kind of waking up, dude. I'm trying to be cautious right now because I'm still kind of waking up. Yeah, no motion. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Let's find another trade. So, I'm liking this 15-minute gap, this 15-minute BPR that's sitting under current price action because, right, if we end up going into that 15-minute gap, you know what this is going to be? It's going to be Accumulation. Hey, Jackson, let's lock in. So the reason I like this 15-minute gap is if we come down into it, it's going to be nice. Accumulation. Manipulation, possibly into the gap. Maybe we'll get SMT there. And then maybe we'll get distribution. But once again, guys, I'm still kind of waking up. So I'm trying to be thoughtful here. At this point, I want to see this low get taken on one of these assets. So at least either this low get taken on S&P or NASDAQ. Because this is just such a nice draw on liquidity. I don't see why we don't go there. At this point, with this much displacement, I think we'll take those equal lows. You see these equal lows here? So yeah. I do think that we'll probably take that low at this point. But once again, guys, I'm still kind of waking up, so. Oh, and look at this, guys. Well, I was going to say these are equal highs, but they're not exactly perfect. Yeah, once again, still waking up, just trying to be smart here. So I'm going to have this marked out like this. Yeah, I'm still waking up, but we're just getting better. Hopefully I'll wake up in just in a few minutes here. We got an N-Dog overlap with this 15-minute. Let's take a look at our statistical mapping. We want the session one. So okay, nothing seems super obvious besides that right now we are at the statistical manipulation level. We have good low resistance highs all the way up here. I'm just observing that. Right? I'm not saying we have to go there right now. I do think this is one of those days that we might not get a move higher until 10 a.m. I do think that we should drop down into this area. I think this is too nice of a draw on liquidity for us not to go down there. Let's get rid of this actually. It's too much noise on the chart. Kind of like less noise. SMT below. Do we actually have SMT? Oh, okay. We got SMT with this low. I'm being thoughtful because I think we'll go take... I think we got good displacement here. I think we'll go take... I think this 1 minute gap is going to reject price. Because look at how much we've displaced. Is this the first presented for value gap? No, because it includes the 930 candle. So we have not got the first presented for value gap yet. Right? The first presented for value gap is the first for value gap that forms after 930, not including the 930 candle. So because this, if I use the 930 candle as the middle candle, it includes... Oh wait, this actually does count. Wait, let's just get an indicator for it. There we go. Oh, this actually is the first presented for ViGap. Because this, so yeah, this actually counts. Because this is 9, if the 930 candle were the middle candle, this wouldn't count because it would use the 929. But it does count. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to check is there an overnight gap? Whoop. That's interesting. There's like super tiny opening range gap. Never seen one that small before. So it looks like we're rejecting this first presented for ViGap. Yeah, this Jan's indicator for first presented for ViGap is actually so nice, dude. Dude, Haney, you're crazy. You're like, that's so awesome, dude. You've won like 5 or 6 days in a row now. It feels like. That's crazy. Haney, that's awesome, man. Great job. So yeah, I think this first presented for ViGap will take us lower into this end dog. Why is there a blue line here? So yeah, look at how we get so much displacement, right? And then we come up into the first presented for ViGap. And we have a nice little range below. It just seems like this is too. That's insane, bro. That's awesome. But what I was saying is, right, on market open, we get a ton of displacement. We break these lows here. So, break of structure. Yeah, I was looking at the S&T, but I couldn't find one that I like. I couldn't find it. Where was the S&T? Wait. Yeah, I was thinking there might be S&T, but I could not find it. Where was it? What high was it with? This? Like, I still don't actually see the S&T. It wasn't obvious to me. But yeah, like I was saying, we swept out the high, we broke this low, and this is the first presented for ViGap here. So I liked the idea of us coming down to this new day opening gap here. We took out and then came up for the equal lows. Nice, bro. So yeah, first presented for ViGap right here. You can see the first presented for ViGap did reject price. So once again, a sweep of this high. Break of this low, first presented for ViGap. So now I'm watching how do we respond to this new day opening gap. Yo, Haney, I looked at your trade. I'm kind of confused on why you ignored the big FVG. Maybe you can explain why you targeted there. So now we're in this gap, and this is kind of what I wanted to see. Actually, we have SMT. Then again, though, we might actually continue lower. So we're gonna be patient. Watch price. Why did I mark this range out? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think this could be a strong reactionary area. 15-minute aligns with the 1 minute. Right? We swept out these equal lows with SMT. Right? We end up getting SMT with these lows into the new day opening gap. I don't really like much in here, to be honest. Be thoughtful. The macro comes in 5 minutes. Here we go. We might go lower on the macro, though. We're just going to be thoughtful. Because once again, like, we still have these low resistance lows from yesterday. Actually, this is probably where we're drawing, if I'm being honest. Now that I think about it, this is actually probably where we're drawing. So we'll probably come up, back test this new day opening gap, and then continue lower to go take out these low resistance lows. That's actually probably what's going to happen. So I'd almost want to like just put a limit order here, but that's not good trading, dude. That's just doing whatever I want to do, which is not actually good trading. So yeah, like I said, we broke structure. I think we'll be drawing to these lower. This is too good of a draw on liquidity, right? This is way too good of a draw. We're gonna run down here. Like, dang, dude, this is gonna, we're actually gonna slice right through. Look at that first presented for VI gap though, doing heavy lifting, dude. Heavy lifting. I mean, it's also right. Look at this. Look at how clean this is, right? Giant accumulation. Manipulation above all of these highs. Very clean manipulation. Into, what was that? The top of our new day opening gap, right? That was the top of our new day opening gap. Yeah, this is clean. We're gonna slice through this, dude. Oh man, I should have maybe thought, dude, random guy, because of liquidity, I think we'll go at least to these low resistance lows. Do you see how nice these low resistance lows are? Do you see how clean these are? We're gonna go here, Haney. I mean, random guy. I think we'll go here. And to be honest, we probably accelerate through because of how clean these low resistance lows look, right? This is rocket fuel. Remember rocket, like this is gonna accelerate price. I think we'll cut through it to the downside. I'm more or less looking at the gap below here. Dang, man. The 2022 model, I'm sleeping on the 2022 model, dude. Look at how clean the 2022 model is. Especially with this first presented for Viagat, man. Liquidity sweep, break of those lows with this placement. First presented for value gap. I mean, you could even literally, you could legit have your stop above the fair value gap today with that. And then go target that L or LR. And I mean, I'm sleeping on 2022 model, dude, because if you have your stop above the first percent for value gap, that's a 4-1, dude. I mean, I very much. Today we had a bearish SMT on daily and a daily for value gap. Yeah. Bearish SMT on daily. I don't know if I see that. There we go. I told you we're coming down to these low resistance lows here. Yeah, it is. It really is. But like I said, I told you we were going to come down to these low resistance lows. I think we'll displace through this. So once again, why did this make sense? Why did this trade make sense? Well, first of all, 1 hour bearish for value gap. I was watching that, right? 1 hour bearish for value gap. There we go. We ran those low resistance lows. 1 hour bearish for value gap. And then we sweep this high into the fair value gap. We had this as a giant range here. Accumulation. And then on the lower time frame, right? So this is the market's accumulating sell stops, right? Accumulation of sell stops. That's what it means when it says accumulation, right? Accumulation of sell stops. Manipulation of this high, right? Manipulation of this high. Into the new day opening gap, right? Remember this new day opening gap? So here, look at that 1 hour for value gap. Look at how it rejects price. Then we have that new day opening gap from before, right? Look at how the new day opening gap rejects price. I mean, tell me ICT concepts don't work, because they do. They do, bro. New day opening gap rejects price here. We come down, break structure on the 1 minute. First presented for value gap supports price. And then we continue lower. Yeah, dude, low resistance liquidity, accelerating price. I genuinely, these are the types of trades where I genuinely just want to go full port short, but I'm not going to do that. I would like to, but you can't, right? You can't just jump in a trade full porting without having it have the appropriate risk management, right? But the cool thing is we kind of knew what was going on, right? We knew, for the most part, what we were looking for. And now when we get this on another day where we get this first presented for value gap and we have those low resistance lows, we're going to take this type of trade. We're going to take this, honestly, and we'll probably have stop loss. We'll probably have stop loss above the first presented for value gap, because with this much displacement, I know that we really should not even come above the first presented for value gap. This is so much displacement. The whole point of this first presented for value gap is going to be so strong. I'm gonna have a tight stop loss above the first presented for value gap to go run this LRLR. So this is how I would take this in the future, and I think this would be a really good trade in the future, to be honest. Once again, new day opening gap as well as a confluence. So once again, accumulation, manipulation of these equal highs, and now distribution. First presented for value gap, aggressively rejecting price here. One hour for value gap. So what else is this, right? 1 hour for value gap. This is also a 5-minute change in state of delivery. So this was a flow state as well. You guys see the flow state, right? 5-minute change in state of delivery. Either here or here. You can mark it off either. There's your bearish CISD. So we have flow state and 2022 models overlapping, right? This is genuinely super nice. So yeah, like I said, what did I say? This low resistance liquidity was going to accelerate price lower, and that's exactly what happened. So, like I said, like if I could redo this, I mean I didn't take a trade obviously, but if I could take this trade again, I would enter at the first presented for value gap, and then target that LRLR there, and you can see that be 4-to-1. That's what I would do, because this is also the reason I'd have stop above the first presented for value gap is because we break this low with such displacement that I don't think we'll get above this first presented for value gap. That's why. What up, Hyper? This is how I would take this though, right? Because 1 hour for value gap, align time frame change instead of delivery. Break of structure for value gap. So you can see a lot of things line up here. So this is what I would take if I were to trade this morning again, but yeah, I didn't take it because honestly I just forgot these low resistance lows were here, and that's why honestly I should maybe start getting on the charts a little earlier. I should maybe start my live my trading. I should get on the charts, observe starting at like 9, because you know it's important to have these low resistance lows marked out. Because if I saw these earlier, then I would have been like, oh yeah, that's the drawn liquidity. That's so nice, dude. I mean, look at how nicely generated these low resistance lows are. Done for the day, so I'm gonna go sleep. Good night. Yeah, thanks, random guy. I might not trade today, because we already got our move lower for the day, and I think this was the move of the day. And so sometimes you just have to be content with the fact that you probably missed the move. Like once again, like this was the move of the day yesterday, and then after that we consolidated. This is the move of the day today, and same thing, like basically consolidation now. But the cool thing is we got a little bit better yesterday, observing that IFEG to the upside, and now today we got a little bit better, observing this first presented for value gap break of structure with this low, and we had two models overlapped with each other. We had the flow state model where it's a 1 hour gap, 5-minute change state delivery. We also had 2022 model where we swept up the high, broke the low with displacement, and then 2022 for value gap, which is also the first presented for value gap. Yo, what up, Medbach? So once again, in this case, I would put stop loss above the first presented for value gap, because with this much displacement, I don't think that we would. I think this first presented for value gap should ideally, if it's going to hold, it should hold and reject price aggressively. So that's what I would have done. The reason I did not is because Honestly, I did not see these low resistance lows, and I was still kind of tired. And you don't want to do anything dumb when you're tired. But this is how. If I could take this trade again tomorrow, this is what I would do. Right, just simple 2022 entry. Right, liquidity sweep with the new day opening gap, break of structure, and notice the key is how much displacement we get when we break this low. This is the signature that you got to remember in price. It's not a break of structure is not just oh, like there's a specific thing you're looking. A break of structure is not just anything, any break below any low or old high. It's this algorithmic break of structure. Like when I see this algorithmic delivery breaking this low, that's a break of structure. I don't care what anyone else says. If it doesn't have that, if it's like this, if it's like, I don't know, if it doesn't look algorithmic, if it doesn't look like the market's obviously accelerating lower with displacement, to me that's not a break of structure. I want to see it being aggressive and algorithmic. That's when I consider it a break of structure. So that's when this is valid to me. Otherwise, it's not really valid. But yeah, like I said, this is how I would take this. I mean, if you're a really experienced trader, you could honestly wait for us to induce this high and then turtle soup it. Turtle soup that high. Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I'm going to get anything for trades. Yo, I am up 500 on gold. I assume that means gold. Nice, bro. Good job. That's great. So yeah, if I was to redo today, I would do it like this. I mean, I didn't take a trade, and I probably won't take a trade, but this was a nice trade. Very nice. And once again, I'm just a market observer. I'm just here to keep getting better every single day. But I do really, really like this trade. We had very, very obvious, nice low resistance lows here. What up, Ram? How's it going? So yeah, every day, just getting a little better. Once again, the reason I like this so much is because look at how aggressively we displace. This is the signature and price that you're gonna want to remember for the 2022 model. 2022 model is only really valid when we get this algorithmic displacement. You have doubt? What do you mean doubt? Yeah, guys, I don't think we're gonna get anything anymore. I'm not gonna lie. What do you mean doubt, Ram? How much you guys want to bet this was right where it was supposed to be on the gold buck? That's crazy, dude. I mean, not perfect, but close enough to the point where you're like, yeah, market's running on this. That's crazy. I mean, in the area, right? In the area. And so then where do we go? The low of the dealing range. That's pretty cool. I can't lie. So I think the OB section is where the change of state of delivery should happen. I think that's where that actually kind of makes sense, to be honest. Because the change of state of delivery is literally an order block. Very much so. Very much a W. That's awesome, bro. No, that actually makes so much sense. Change state of delivery is an order block, right? So that actually makes so much sense. So the change state of delivery for the indicator should happen in the OB zone. That actually makes so much sense. I don't understand how to find short-term bias on 4 hour. You got to be able to. The bias is gonna come from the way the market is displacing. Like if we're aggressively moving lower, like we break these lows, okay, now we backtest this fair value gap. So once we break these lows, your eyes go on to the left side of the chart and you zoom out and you see, okay, what draw on liquidity do we have? Well, we have these very nicely placed low resistance lows here, right? You see this? Your eyes got to drag over to the left-hand side of the chart and see what highs or lows does the market want to draw to. In this case, we had this really nice, these are obvious low resistance lows on the other side of the chart here. So your eyes draw over there. See how we algorithmically displace and break these lows? That tells me the market wants to go to these low resistance lows. So now we look for an entry. And this is, in this case today, this fair value gap. This was a 2022 fair value gap. It was also a first presented fair value gap. It was also a change state delivery. Once again, I did not take a trade today. I'm just kind of observing price, and I don't think I will get a trade today, but I like this trade in the future. If I would, in the future, if I had saw these low resistance lows sooner, I'm going to try and take this exact trade. It's just I did not see these low resistance lows fast enough, but this is exactly what I would do, right? And I think taking no trade is perfectly fine. Just being an observer and taking no trade, just to, not take a loss, perfectly fine, dude. But yeah, look at that, man. First percent for value gap, back test it, change state delivery, and then boom. Look for this algorithmic displacement. Let's go, Snowman, dude. That is awesome, man. That is awesome. I'm so proud of you, man. That's so cool. Great work, dude. Also, this is my last day in Washington. So, I know I said that yesterday, but this is actually the last day, so. So yeah, now at this point, like I said, this is kind of like yesterday where this was the move of the day. I'm not that interested in trading the price action, after we get the move of the day. In my opinion, that's just low probability. So same kind of thing today, right? Now that we've kind of displaced towards these lows, we got the move for the day. All of this is a little lower probability, and I'm going to be very, very precautious to try and not take anything. But that being said, if I look on the left hand side of the chart, I actually think this kind of nice, a nice strong liquidity, if I'm being honest. What is this? Market open wick. We got a market open wick here. So maybe actually we will get something. Market open wick. Equal lows. Yeah, we got equal lows all the way over here. This is a nice draw as well, right? And just look at how we're algorithmically displacing, right? That's why I'm looking on the left-hand side of the chart for lows, because we're algorithmically displacing lower. So I'm looking on the left-hand side of the chart for what lows could we be displacing towards. We got this market open wick. And we have equal lows. Five-minute gap here. I really don't love taking a trade now that we've already displaced lower, but I have to leave for appointment. Great trading. Thank you. I'm glad. I don't know what I did. I don't know why you said thank you to me, but yeah, dude. Sounds great, man. Have a good appointment, bro. Alright, so yeah, I'm like I said, like I prefer not to take a trade now. But I have these marked out. Like, I really wish I could have just taken that first percent for value gap, but, you know, it's just hard to catch it in the moment. Honestly, I might start getting on the charts right at 9, because I think it's important to, you know, have everything marked out, even, or ahead of time, and just make sure you have everything marked out that you need to have marked out. So but I'm okay with no trade, to be honest. So once again, algorithmic break of these lows here, right? This is very, yes, market have been moving early. Yeah, I'm gonna start getting on the chart. I honestly, yeah, I'm probably gonna officially change it. I'm gonna think about it over the next day, but I'm probably gonna officially change it to getting on the charts at 9 Eastern. So that way, it's not necessarily I'm gonna take a trade that early. It's more or less just so I can, you know, have everything marked out that I want to have marked out. Like, for instance, I really would have liked to have these low resistance lows on my chart marked out, and I just felt like I did not have enough time to mark these out by the time we retested that fair value gap. And if I had marked these low resistance lows out, it would have just been super obvious that we were going to displace towards them. And it's just something that, like, you know, if I'd probably been on the chart at 9, I probably would have marked these out a little earlier. So once again, didn't take a loss, no losses. So that's what matters. But I do think there's benefit to just at least looking at the chart a little earlier and marking stuff out, like these low resistance lows. If I'd seen these a little earlier. Now we are getting S&T. I'm not saying that that's going to mean anything, right? Once again, very hesitant now because now we're in a much lower discount. Yeah. Now we're in much lower discount. So I'm a very hesitant, right? I'm cautious. I honestly don't want to trade. Because I would have liked to have taken that trade. It feels like the move of the day has already happened. But then again, you know, we could continue lower because we do have these draws on liquidity lower, right? We do have a nice range. If I mark this out, right, if I draw this out here, I mean, this is a massive, 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 massive liquidity pool. Massive. Massive, dude. Wow. I mean, like, wow. So I think good chance we draw back into this, right? Look at this, dude. This is actually huge. So, you know what? Actually, we very well could get a trade. But I'm not going to force anything, right? If it happens, it's going to be given to us. It's not going to be because I forced anything. Right? But we do algorithmically break this low on the 15-minute. Same on the 1 hour chart, right? We were clearly displacing lower. 10 a.m. candle opened up, right? 10 a.m. candle opened up. So, 10 a.m. candle opened up. So what does that mean? That means new power of 3, right? So we have, here's the 1 hour candle. Statistical 1 hour manipulation. Actually, we want the 4 hour candle, right? 4 hour. So we're looking for a statistical 4 hour manipulation level, and that's right here. and our 4-hour distribution level is right at that liquidity pool. So this is a very possible trade, actually. Considering this, right? Considering this. The only thing is I really like the trade from earlier, so I don't know. Just I'm very hesitant because I don't like forcing. I don't want to force anything, but we are approaching this 4-hour manipulation level. Because I would have preferred to have taken that initial break of structure, right? And gap. So, anyway, now we still have S&T here. New day opening gaps all the way up there. We'll still mark it out just in case, right? Just in case. So right, once again, 4-hour manipulation. We also want to be aware, because this is a higher time frame for value gap, right? So yeah, we do want to be aware because this is a higher time frame for value gap, right? 1 hour for value gap here. So this, yeah, that's something we do want to look at, right? 1 hour for value gap. So we're within this gap. Yeah, actually, now that we look at it here, this might be a short-term relief area. 1 hour for value gap. $15-minute for value gap. Yeah, now that we actually mention it. I'm not bullish right now with this displacement though, is the thing. So I would not take this. Anything that is long would be forced right now because it'd be against the trend. So, like I said, I prefer not to trade after we get these giant moves because I know this was the move of the day. Smart money got in on this move lower. That was smart money's entry, was this first presented for value gap. So now that that's happened, I'm a lot more hesitant because yeah, I just don't know if we're gonna get anything. Alright, there we go. That's the 15-minute for value gap has been hit. So actually, oh, we still have S&T. Really? Whoa, that's actually surprising. Wait, let's go back. Let's scroll back. Okay, this is actually kind of nice. Because we have S&T with this high, 5-minute gap, statistical manipulation level. once again, like, I don't love the fact that we kind of missed the move already. And we might need to sweep this high again. So, I'm not in love with it. But it's, I mean, I'm observing it. I'm a market observer, right? This could end up being nice. Okay. So now we're getting this 30-second change state delivery is a lot more obvious now. So now I think that we're probably going to go run lower. You can see this 4.25 is right there. Only thing I'm thinking is maybe we sweep this high again, and that's what I'm concerned about. One minute change to delivery. If we get this, which we already kind of got a 1 minute change to delivery here, but if we get this one, once again, I don't want to force anything. It looks like we did just get a 1 minute change to delivery. Once again, 4-hour manipulation level. See, this is what I was worried about. See, we might sweep this high again. And that's, honestly, if we sweep this high again, that's when I'm actually considering a trade, to be honest. I'm very careful. I do think this could be, that we could go lower off of this 30-second change state delivery. And honestly, you know, maybe it's worth taking on a couple accounts. I mean, it's pretty good RR. Especially if you just go for 4R down to those lows. But once again, I'm not taking it because we already got the move for the day, right? So I'm just being a little precautious because I'm aware we already got the move for the day, and I'm thinking we could sweep the high again, and so I'm not gonna take this kind of trade unless we sweep the high again, and then we get another change state delivery, and then at that point it'll be worth the risk for me. But I'm not. At this point, we're consolidating too much, and it's just not worth a loss to me. It's just that simple. So I'm not taking anything unless we strip the high again, and then you can see we're coming back up. It's nothing obvious to me. Once again, we already got the move lower, and I don't want to take a loss. And I know this was the highest probability move of the day. Anything else is just going to it's going to be harder to get a good trade. It's not that you can't. It's just harder. Wow, the 4-hour distribution level really is all the way down here. That's crazy. Wow, that's pretty low. Yeah, I'm observing. I'm being a market observer. I'm not being a trader right now. I just don't feel like taking a trade after we already got this move lower. But I'm observing this change state of delivery, right? I'm observing. Does this take us down to the 4th standard deviation? It's very possible it does, but I'm not necessarily going to take it because Uh, I um, I just think this is lower probability now that we've came down this way, but this could end up displacing to this fourth standard deviation. We'll just have to see. And once again, I could see us sweep the high again, so that's another reason why I'm very hesitant. It's definitely lower probability price action, so it's nothing that I'm taking, right? Nothing that I'm taking. Yeah, exactly. We're not taking this. I'm just being a market observer. Is this change state delivery gonna hold price, or are we gonna need to sweep the high again? But nothing in here is algorithmic. Nothing in here is screaming. This is screaming accumulation to me. Nothing in here is screaming like this. This is algorithmic delivery. This is a true break of structure. This is a true change in state of delivery. This is algorithmic. This is like when you walk out of bed half tired. The fib setting for the standard deviation, yeah. Now keep in mind, this is just from my own personal observations in the market, but I mean, if you use this, you'll realize that it's very accurate. But I just do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1.25, 2.25, 3.25, and 4.25. These 5, 6, 7, and 8, they're kind of irrelevant. I never use these, but sometimes it's just kind of nice to see, does the market keep going? It's mostly just for fun. But I mostly just use 1, 2, 3, and 4. Most people only use 1, 2 to 2.5, and 4, but I've just found, like, from my own personal backtesting that I just like having them marked out as 1, 2, 3, 4 because it just makes more sense to me to do it like that. Other people, no one does it like me, and that's just just because it's just what makes sense to me. So yeah, I just do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have OTE as well because a lot of the time you'll notice that when we get the change state delivery. Yeah, you'll note the 3 does hold price. That's why I do it. That's why I have it marked out is because, personally, my own personal observations of the market, I've seen us go to that third standard deviation perfectly many times, and so I'll have it marked out. But yeah, nothing in here screaming obvious algorithmic delivery. Honestly, this is not even really a break of structure. I mean, that's honestly not even really a change in state of delivery. Like, it's honestly distracting and ignorant for me to even call that a change in state of delivery. Because it's not algorithmic. Like, we're definitely in a consolidation right now. I mean, what happens after expansion? We get consolidation. So I'm not really expecting anything right now, to be honest. But this is good practice for sitting on your hands, being patient, and not trading price action that you don't think is good. And that is a very important skill. Very, very important skill. I think it's very important just to be able to sit on your hands and do nothing. Yeah, the reason I have OTE is because you'll know a lot of the time when we get the change in state of delivery, after we get it, or sometimes even before we get it, we'll backtest OTE of the manipulation. Just an observation I've seen many times, and not everyone, no one else does it like me, and that's just because I observe the market and I just trade the way that I observe the market to be. That's just how I roll. So, but like if you do measure it out, you'll know that it happens all the time, So, OTE of the manipulation leg. That's a Jake Trades It original. No one else talks about that. But yeah, guys, we're just kind of hanging out. It's consolidation right now, and like I said, the move of the day was this fair value gap when we got the first presented fair value gap here, and then we displaced down to these low resistance lows. Right, those were nice lows. See, here we go. This change day delivery. Did it really matter? Did it really matter? No, dude. No. I don't care about that because it's obvious that we're just consolidating after an expansion. So I'm not. No thanks, dude. See, now we're starting to aggressively move higher. Right? But like I said, I'm just here showing up. Because I think even if I sit here on the charts and just observe price action for an hour and 50 minutes, hour 55 minutes, and I do no trade, I'm getting so much better. Like I do no all I'm doing is just watching price action. I'm not taking any trade, but I'm getting so much better because I'm observing. And I think a lot of people think they have to trade to actually get better at trading, but a lot of the time you actually don't even need to trade. Like sometimes not trading actually makes you better at trading because it practices your self-control and patience and just observing price action as a trader is one of the most important things. So honestly, just if you can just practice no trades, just observing price action and just don't trade at all for a whole session and do that day after day, like this is kind of what I did yesterday and that's honestly what I'm doing today. By the time you get those really good trades, you're going to have the conviction and you're going to you're not going to have to deal with having taken these bad trades all the time because you're going to have the patience to say no the other 95% of the time. Ugh. We could get a trade, though. We've been consolidating for quite a while, so we might end up getting something later on. Once again, we have that new day opening gap. Keep mental note of that. I'm not going to put it on my chart. Once again, we're still at the statistical manipulation of 4-hour candle. So just mostly observing price. Not really taking the trade unless we get something, right? And then if it's obvious that this is what you want to do for trading, right? Most of trading is just observing and doing nothing, and that's actually way better way to trade than trading. Just watch price, don't do anything 95% of the time. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm not really looking for anything. I just watch. But I'm noting, look at this. We are in this area of the statistical manipulation of the 4-hour candle. Big sellers at 23,208, 600 orders resting there. Yeah, man. I could see it. Well, that's the top of that 5-minute fair value gap. But I'm not doing anything right now. For sure not. It just seems like consolidation to me. Too much consolidation for me to care. And then let's actually pull up the open of that 4-hour candle as well. Yeah, probably won't do anything. See, what did I say? I wouldn't even, next time we get this, I'm not even marking it out as change in state of delivery. Because it's not really. It's not really change in state of delivery. It's not, you need to have displacement. Like, I feel like if it's not obvious, it's not a change in state of delivery. And that's just my own opinion. But, like, I'm not even going to mark that out as a change in state of delivery in the future. Because it's really not change in state of delivery if it's not obvious. I mean, this is consolidation. So now, maybe this is manipulation, right? Now we're at the top of the 5-minute gap. Let's also mark out this 15-minute gap. But once again, it's important just to show up and watch price. Like, I know that I might not trade, but just sitting here watching price, that's what's allowing me to get so much better. And I'm not, you know, I really do think that that's what's important for you to do every day, is to show up and just sit here and watch. Because that's how you get to the point where you can really understand and take high quality trades. Alright, so we do have that new day opening gap, remember. I think that this is going to reject price lower, to be honest. Higher time frame is bearish. But then again, guys, this was a fair value. Well, yeah, now that I mention it, actually, this was a 1 hour for value gap, right? Yeah. Yeah, this was a 1 hour. I'm going to get rid of everything for a second. This was a 1 hour for value gap, right? Why don't you go 5-minute time frame and analyze different market react to those strong support and resistance levels before and after New York session? I'm talking about NAS 100. Dude, I'm confused, Daniel. 5-minute time frame and analyze how we market react to those strong support and resistance levels. I don't know which ones you're talking about. So yeah, this is a 1 hour gap. So, you know, we actually could go higher off of this. I'm not opposed to it, right? It's a possibility. It's a 1 hour gap, right? There's actually a 4 hour gap too. This actually might be as low as we need to go. Very possibly. Right? Also 15-minute gap. 15-minute gap. Do we have SMT? With this low, maybe? Oh, we kind of do. So 756 orders. Interesting. Looks like this 1 minute change state delivery supported price so far. But once again, we could. I'm kind of in between right now. You know, like the drawn liquidities to the upside are so far away. So I just don't know if we're gonna go there. They're so far away. Don't know if it justifies being bullish, to be honest. But you know, maybe. Not shutting anything out. We did just inverse that 5 minute gap there, so yeah. Just being thoughtful because this is a 1 hour gap, right? We might not need to come down here if we're bullish enough. If we're bullish enough, this 1 hour gap could support price. It just depends on how bullish are we. And do we want to sweep this low or do we want to continue lower? Because honestly, we actually break this high here. 5 minute break of this high. Yeah, we actually break this high here. And this is all 1 hour fair value gap. So, yeah, it's actually possible that this is the low. It is possible. Alright. Once again, we are just market observers. We are not doing anything unless it is really obvious, and then maybe, right? So it kind of feels like this was the accumulation, right? Accumulation. Accumulation. We have this as a 1 hour gap here. Higher time frame is once again extremely bullish, extremely. So 1 hour gap, and then 15 minute gap. I want to have both of these marked out. So yeah, actually, this could possibly expand this higher. Higher time frame is extremely bullish, and actually, now that we are starting to get some movement, it's starting to feel like we could get something. But you know, once again, we're just being super cautious here. We ended up getting SMT, tiny little SMT at the bottom there. Once again, this is a 15 minute gap here. So we're watching this as well. It's important to watch this. Actually, it's a 5 minute gap too. Alright, we're watching this 5 minute gap. What draw on liquidity is strongest, right? That's the question. These draws on liquidity are way, way lower. But this is nice. These overlapping session lows. We also have Asia high. And, you know, maybe that ends up being a draw, right? This is why you just have to be always on your feet as a trader and be prepared for all possibilities. $23,186, there's resistance that didn't break when your session starts. All the liquidity below this. 21,186. 21,186. Interesting, dude. That's good to know. So, you see how these fair value gaps were supporting price, right? So honestly, I could see this being manipulation. I could see this being a sweep of these lows. So that's something that I'm considering as a possibility. We have Asia high as a draw. Man, I would love to keep trading. I feel like we could get something later in the day. Actually, I mean, I could just keep trading for a little longer because, I mean, I don't have anything going on today. Like, normally I have work later in the day, but I'm not in Idaho, and so I could actually just stay on the charts a little longer if I wanted to. I mean, I don't think there's a rule against me trading for a little longer, especially because it's literally just getting practice. And yeah, I feel like there's nothing wrong with just getting more hours of watch time in with trading. So I'll probably just stay on the charts a little longer. Why not? Why not? I have nothing else going on. I'm just kind of enjoying. I feel like we're getting some movement, and we could actually end up drawing up to Asia. So I'm actually enjoying watching price action today. I mean, yeah, you have to realize most of trading is just watching and doing nothing. And just being a market observer. It's boring, but you want to make money or not? Wonder how many people are watching. Probably like probably like 3 or 4, like last time. Oh wow, there's 6. That's a lot more than I thought. But yeah, I might continue the stream a little bit longer, guys, because I don't really have anything going on today, and I think more screen time is never bad. So there's not really. I don't think I have a rule against me continuing if I don't have to go anywhere. Like normally I go work for my dad, but I'm still in Washington. We were supposed to leave yesterday, but we haven't left yet, so we're just kind of hanging out another day, I guess. But then later tomorrow, or no, today we're leaving right after I'm done, or whenever I'm done. But it's not like a rush, so I might just stay on the charts. Don't really have anything going on. Because we were on a family reunion is what it was, so. I like drawing these fair value gaps out in dark and then having the accumulation marked out in this lighter gray. I think it's kind of nice to do that. Okay, actually, you know what? Look at this. This is nice, actually. This is the first thing that's actually making my head go, make my head a little, make me feel, what's the word? This is the first thing that's actually making me kind of excited is, seems like a giant accumulation range. We have this 5-minute gap here, or a 15-minute gap, or whatever, and now we just got S&T with this high. This is the first thing that actually makes me feel like, this could be something, right? Once again, I don't love. Actually, I'm not even gonna lie. This doesn't feel like anything, to be honest. Still, yeah, bro. This isn't anything. Now that I think about it. Yeah, this is nothing, dude. No, never mind. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Nothing's really going on. We did get S&T at that high, right? but it's such a consolidation that it's like, Next macro starting. We ended up getting a sweep, break of structure. Now we have this fair value gap here. Resting below equal lows. So once again, just being a market observer right now. Not necessarily going to do anything. Oh, this is nice actually. Notice how we break this low with displacement on the 5 minute. So I feel like this will probably draw us down into these equal lows here. That's my guess. Just a tape read. Because sweep. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm just being a market observer, right? Mostly interested in this gap taking us higher, to be honest. So we have a 1 minute gap. We can align this with like the 5 second. Okay, don't make fun of me. Like low key, we kind of can. Alright, so yeah, I think now that we're inversing this, we could go lower here. Once again, I'm not doing anything. We might end up getting inducement above this high. Once again, just being a market observer. Unless it's something amazing, then, you know, maybe. Looking at possible inducement above this high here. Let's see if this is in our fair value gap partition, just for fun. Nope. Well, we could switch it onto half. Oh, it's already on half. Okay, that's, yeah. There's nothing. I don't think it's not obvious if so. So we're just gonna get rid of it. So once again, like, this isn't anything crazy. Like, I could definitely see us coming back up to take this high again, which is why I'm not doing nothing, right? I could see us coming to take this high again. But I could also see us coming down to this fair value gap because I think this fair value gap would be a good place to find a flow state model to go long from. So yeah, this could be inducement, but I don't know. Let's see if this ends up being inducement or not. I literally have no idea. Because we might end up going right in the high. Yeah. Yeah. We wouldn't take that high anytime soon. ES already did. This one? Yeah. See, this is why I wasn't bearish. Guys, does this look like obvious price action to you? No. That's why I did nothing, right? That's why I'm just watching and observing. But once again, like, so now we might actually go run down to that low, right? Just nothing obvious. This is why I just do nothing and observe, dude. Consolidation. Once again, this is like a 5-minute gap here. Well, actually, it's a 3-minute for buy gap. That's what it is. Once again, nothing obvious. We just like watching. We are just market observers here. I think the more watch time and price action you get, just, you know, overall, just helps. And I just observe. I don't do anything other than observe. But yeah, like I said, there's nothing obvious within here like it was earlier, where this was obvious. This was very clearly obvious. Oh yeah, dude, definitely. But like I was saying, this is clear as day, obvious. Break of this low, fair value gap lower. All of this is just chop. I mean, for the most part, I mean, there's some movements within here. Maybe you could get lower time frame trades. Like if there was anything, you know, it'd probably be this 5-minute gap and then a 30-second change state of delivery. That's probably the only thing. But yeah, I'm not super interested in doing anything until we get something more obvious here. It looks like we are getting SMT with this high. So just marking out as an observation. Yeah. Let's see how the most recent 2-hour candle is looking. Alright. Oh, I guess they're not going to load. Yeah, guys, just nothing that I like here. I am just a market observer. I don't know. I might go off the charts. I was thinking that maybe there might be something, but this is not my favorite. Well, I guess we could get. I guess this 15-minute gap could reject price. But I actually don't know because this is a giant 1 hour gap and we just swept out this low. So it's definitely, it could go either way, right? Now we have this other 5-minute gap. So once again, another 5-minute gap supporting price. And actually, now that I think about it, look at, this is kind of, it's not giving very much wiggle room. So these 5-minute gaps are supporting price. So we actually might end up going to Asia. Once again, guys, just market observing right now. Not necessarily considering anything. Unless it's super good, and then maybe. And this is how you have to treat trading. Like, just do nothing most of the time, almost all the time, and you'll trade so much better. But yeah, this is definitely, consolidation. I just like observing price action, bro. What can I say? Wonder how many people are watching now. Going longs at that 5-minute gap. Nice. So you're gonna, if we come down into this gap again, you're gonna go long at this 5-minute gap. Yeah, the only thing I was considering at all today, was entering at this first minute for value gap, or this entering on this first presented for value gap to go target that LRLR. And the reason I didn't take it is because I really actually did not see the LRLR fast enough. Otherwise, I would have known not to draw on liquidity, and I probably would have taken it. But that's why I'm going to probably start getting on the charts starting at 9 now. I'm considering it. I'm going to think about it. Yeah, nothing obvious, guys. Just hanging out. Just watching price action. And I'm probably going to stay on the chart a little longer today because I have nothing really else going on. So might as well. I mean, I could trade on demo for sure. Get on the charts 8, bro. You think I should get on the charts at 8? Just do pre-market analysis for a whole hour? Eight, like an hour before 9. Yeah, but the issue with that is I used to do that, right? I used to get on the chart super early. You can go watch my old streams. I used to get on the chart super early, and part of the issue with that is, you take a trade before market opens, and it's just lower probability. It's just consolidation, and I think maybe I could probably control myself better now to not do that, and just simply and analyze in that 8 to 9 o'clock window, just mark out draws and liquidity. Yeah. I think you're right, dude. I think I should probably just get on the charts earlier, because that whole 1 hour window it's not really for trading. Yeah, that 8 to 9 window is literally just marking out draws and liquidity, marking out fair value gaps, and yeah. I agree. In that case, maybe I will get on the chart starting at 8:30. It's just a long time to be trading. The only thing is it's just a long time to be trading, and I think the less time on the charts, the more clear I'm gonna think, the better I'm gonna trade. So I'll think about it, but I'm for sure gonna start getting on the charts at least 9 now. 8:30 would be cool. I'll definitely think about it. But I'm gonna say almost for sure I'll start getting on the charts at 9. I'm gonna switch the time, so it's gonna be 2 hour streams now. It's gonna be 2 hour and 10 minute streams now. And then if I decide to start at 8:30, then it'll be longer. But I think for now, probably just 9. Dude, let's go. He calls me a pro. I like that. I like that. Okay, I'll think about it. I'll think about getting on at 8:30. It's just, if I get on too early, I definitely don't want to be in a position where I consider forcing something, which I don't think I would be now. I think I'm a lot more controlled, but sometimes I do stupid things. Get the short call 2 hours before open. Got the short call 2 hours before open. It helps to get on early. Yeah, I used to do it all the time, and honestly, probably get on. I don't know. I'm thinking about it for sure. Wow, this is not even facing the right way this whole time. The mic's been facing the wrong way this whole time. Yeah, I'll say for sure 9, and I'm considering getting on earlier. I want to make sure that I'm able to trade at my highest peak at 9:30, right when 9:30 to 10 whenever the trade appears, most likely, right, or 10:30, 10:15. I'll think about it. For sure 9. No more 9:15. I'm gonna start at 9 now. Okay, this is just consolidating. We have 4 minutes left. Considering getting off the charts. Exactly, yeah. Well, if I win right now, get off, or in general? My rules for winning are, that means that I'm in the right mindset. Most of the time, I'm just gonna get done. I'm just gonna be done when I win. But it's not against my rules to take another trade if I win. But ideally, I'm gonna be done. If I take a loss, I just acknowledge that I'm not in the right mindset and I need to get off. But wins for me mean I'm doing something right and I'm in the right mindset. And so I will try to be done. If I get a win. Like, that's gonna be the ideal scenario, but if I see more opportunity and I'm in a good mindset, I'm gonna allow myself to take that opportunity. I'm not gonna say I can't. It's not gonna be against my rules. Oh, yeah, guys, definitely. Yeah, I don't do that. I can't. If I take a loss, it means I'm not in the right frame of mind. For me, at least. In my opinion, less is more. I'd rather just trade less. Yeah, I might get off in 2 minutes, guys. I just think it's too much consolidation. I think it's not even worth looking at, to be honest. So I'll get off the charts in 1 minute, and then I'll come back tomorrow. Once again, another day of no trades for me. Only trade I was considering was that first presented for value gap. I just observed the charts too late and got on a little too late. But the draw on liquidity is clear. That's why I take one. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but for me, like, I try and make it when I take a trade that I try and make it where it's like objectively, like, it should really work. The trade that I take should really work, and if it doesn't work, then that's probably me being in a mindset where I shouldn't be. Like this kind of trade, right? Like, I know with this much displacement, this first presented for value gap should probably hold. So, I don't know, though. That's just me. Everyone trades different. Cool thing about this is, actually, first presented for value gap, I've seen Justin do this, where you can take a 1 minute gap, you can align it with, like, the low time frame, right? So if I align this with, like, let's say I align this with the first presented for value gap with the 10-second. Wait for change to delivery here. I've seen Justin do this. Or maybe you go actually like this. I don't know what would be best, to be honest. You probably would not get this entry, but once we get this closed, maybe you take this entry, right? Look at these 10-second candles. These 10-second candles, this is when do you use the 10-second time frame, guys? When is it, like, okay, genuinely? When the candles look like this. Like, if the candles look like they look normal, then I'm like, bet, dude. 10-second time frame. There's nothing wrong with this, in my opinion. In my opinion, this is clean price action. I don't care it's 10 seconds. Like, genuinely, I treat, as long as its price action is clean, I know that this is going to still give me good results. Yeah, exactly. So first presented for value gap, we get change state of delivery from that. So this could have been even more of a sniper entry here if you wanted it to be, right? Because 1 minute, first presented for value gap on the 1 minute, and then we're aligning the 1 minute with the 10-second. And I'm doing stop above the breaker because we have low resistance lows, and I think we should go lower off of them. Very cool, to be honest. And then we go run down to those low resistance lows right away. You would use the 1 minute. What? I'm lost. 8:13. I think I'll get off, dude. I think it's cool to get off here. But yeah, if I could just get on the charts at 9 a little earlier, so I can be fully locked in, have all my draws on liquidity on the chart, so I can take the highest probability trade within this window of time here, this 9:30 window. That would be good. So I'm gonna get on the charts a little earlier. For sure 9. I'll consider 8:30. I'll consider it, or 8:45 or something like that. But that would strictly be for only pre-market analysis and just marking out my draws on liquidity and fair value ups, that kind of stuff. If I did do that. Anyway, 4 minutes past 9:10. I'm gonna get off the charts here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and once again, another day of no trades, but that's okay. I'm just gonna keep showing up, watching price action, and getting better.